Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Dan and Danny Talk Sports. I'm Dan Studer alongside my co-host, as always, Danny Gulix. Danny, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. Woke up early for some reason. At 7 o'clock.
No, I didn't wake up that early.
It was no, I could not sleep in today. I don't know why. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I haven't been outside yet, but I'm assuming it's a nice, I can hear from the rain.
It's a nice October day.
Crisp October morning. That's right. We're a little behind. We are filming this on Saturday, October the 1st. And Danny, October starts with an O. Today's the 1, 0-1. Danny, we both started out this week 0-1 in our weekly pick'ems. We both went with the Miami Dolphins over the Cincinnati Bengals. And quite honestly, I don't blame us for picking Miami. And honestly, I think that we'll talk a little bit more about this in just a second. I feel like if Tua doesn't go down with an injury, I think there's a very good chance that Miami could potentially walk away with the dub here. Like I said, before we really kind of talk about Tua, I want to talk about Cincinnati really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Sick unis.
Yeah, first of all, beautiful. All white, the white out. Geez.
It was really cool.
Beautiful. I disagree. I think if Tua doesn't play this game at all, the Dolphins have a better chance to win because one, the Bengals' track record with backup quarterbacks is not good.
Oh my God, you love bringing that up.
They started 2-0 or 0-2 against backup quarterbacks. They got lucky against Cooper Rush. No, they lost to Cooper Rush. They got lucky against Joe Flacco. Yeah. But I watched most of this game, fell asleep. I can't hang. Fell asleep at the end. But Tua just looked off. And it's hard to say because his stats don't really say that he looked off, but he was missing easy throws or throwing it into the wrong spot. And that's just not what Tua's been doing this season.
I did hear that as well.
He looked uncoordinated. He looked like he wasn't all there. And Tua, it is a travesty that he was able to play in this game. I don't think the right steps were taken. To the naked eye, it looked like he got an absolute blatant, horrible concussion on Sunday. He couldn't walk straight. He was stumbling over himself.
Shaking his head.
Exactly. He stayed in the game to the he got taken out of the game and then he went back in, question mark?
I believe so.
Yeah. And then they let him play, and he likely got 2 concussions within 5 days of each other and then went on a plane to go home. That's just, it doesn't seem like he's been taken care of. And I understand a lot of people are coming for the Dolphins organization and everything like that, all the people involved within the organization. But the NFL, for concussion protocol, at least I know, has outside sources, outside doctors not affiliated with the team, check on the players just so that there could be no collusion. The doctors cannot sway hey, you're hurt, but if you want to go, you can go, because they work within the organization. If the doctor deems that he got a concussion and he can't play, there's nothing in the organization that can swing that. So yes, I'm not an expert. Whatever the doctor said. But if there wasn't a concussion, there was a neuro injury within his head. And they should have taken at least a deeper look to see what that was, because 2 neuro injuries within 5 days is potential life-threatening, lifelong harm to your body.
And even if they want to say that they thought that at first it wasn't his head and that it was his back, his spine is just as important.
Exactly. It feels like the right steps weren't taken to protect Tua as a human. They were taken to protect Tua as a football player, and you just got to take a step away. I've been a Tua hater. I didn't think that he had it in him. He has it in him, obviously, because he played very good. But more of Tua as a human being, we want him to live we want him to live a good life, and him getting 2 brain injuries within a 5-day span is just not good. If this ends up coming out, they're doing an investigation now. If this ends up coming out saying that he got 2 concussions and these were 2 concussions within 5 days, if he stepped away from football for a little bit, I don't think anybody should be surprised.
I'd be really shocked, Danny, if it was 2 concussions in 5 days. How does he get through, the concussion protocol in the tent against Buffalo?
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna I act like I'm a doctor. Obviously, I'm filming a podcast in my bedroom over Zoom with my best friend. Not a doctor.
Hey.
But I just it's hard to watch, man. And if you watch that game when Teddy Bridgewater came in, when Tua was on the ground, and they brought out the stretcher for him, it just did not look good. It was great to hear that he got movement and mobility back in his extremities that night, but it's sad to see, especially for a quarterback like that. It almost reminds you of like RG3 in the sense where it's a young, promising quarterback going down with a what could be career-threatening injury. Just
Yeah,
sad, man.
Danny. And what are your thoughts on Coach Mike McDaniel as well? I mean, do you think that he should have been more precautious? Should he have just not started Tua at all in this game against Cincinnati? Or do you think maybe it's not so much of his fault? He's going by with the doctors telling him that it's okay to play and Tua saying that he wants to play.
I think it's rough on all fronts where you can blame everybody, but also you can't. The coach, obviously, you want to put your best players on the field to give you the best chance of winning. It's a primetime game. All eyes are going to be on you. You started 3-0. You just beat the Bills. You want the eyes on you. You want to win. And if the doctor comes up to you and tells you, "Hey, he's good to go. He can play," you're going to play your best players. But if there's an inkling in the back of your mind, like, "Hey, maybe we should take a step away from football for a second and just look at him as a human being," and you could tell that he got injured, you don't play him. But also, if Tua's sitting there telling you, "I want to play, I can play, I'm good to go," it's hard not to. You know what I mean? It's just a hard decision on all fronts. Doctors even make mistakes sometimes. You know what I mean? They're human beings.
Oh yeah.
There's
a reason why there's an equation for human error in science.
Exactly. It's just rough. We just hope that's all we're going to talk about the whole situation because stuff's still coming out. We don't want a false report, but we just hope that everything works itself out and Tua gets fast and speedy recovery.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Tua was in good spirits. He wore a neck brace and was watching a movie with Coach McDaniel on the flight home. So, and I know a lot of people were giving him crap for that too. Like he has a head injury and then you have him watch a movie. Who knows? The doctors at the Cincinnati hospital could have said that he was okay to do stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, you just got to trust the doctors in this situation and just find out. That's all we can do.
Well, Danny, that was our Thursday night game. Like I said, we both start off 0-1, but today is Saturday. Today's full of college football. Penn State taking on Northwestern.
I know somebody going to the Penn State game. They're very excited. They came in and bought a whole bunch of rain gear from Dick's. So,
whole bunch.
It's gonna be bad. It's
Happy Valley.
It's gonna be bad.
But let's focus on tomorrow, Sunday. Danny, kicking us off.
Sunday.
We've got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New Orleans Saints.
This is the London game, baby.
This is the London game. London calling.
R.I.P. Queen Elizabeth. You would have loved to watch Andy Dalton play
screw
football.
Queen Lizzie.
I mean, yeah, but you would have loved to watch Andy Dalton face off against Kirk Cousins. Honestly, I don't know how to go here. It's rough. I think Justin Jefferson hitting the gritty in London is going to be an absolute sight to see. Because did you watch any of like the Sidemen charity soccer game?
Do not watch the Sidemen at all.
They're very entertaining. Like I love the Sidemen. But Speed was I'm sure I don't know if you know the name Speed, but I'm sure if I showed you some of his stuff, you would know him. They loved him. Like he went for a slide tackle right to start the game and hit KSI right in the legs and then stood over him like this. And then he hit the Ronaldo celebration and he had everybody in the crowd yell it. Oh, it was great.
Stood over him like Juju over Vontaze.
Like Allen Iverson over what's his name? Tyronn Lue. Yeah, I mean it was great. But we're off topic. I think Justin Jefferson hitting the gritty will have the crowd go insane. I'm gonna take the Vikings here. I guess it's a shot in the dark. I do think the Saints are gonna play better without Jameis Winston at quarterback. Jameis Winston just makes some bonehead plays. Like I love Jameis Winston. He genuinely is a funny human being, but he does not play football very well. I think them not having him and starting Andy Dalton is going to be a blessing and a curse because Andy Dalton will make smarter plays, but he's not going to force a ball into a into a spot where it can barely fit. You know what I mean? Which is
Right.
good and bad. But I'm gonna take the Vikings. I think Kirk Cousins is gonna have a little bit of a bounce back game. Justin Jefferson is gonna have a bounce back game. Trade for him in fantasy if you can, because he's had 2 back-to-back bad weeks. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Going with Vikings.
Yeah, Danny, I'm going to take Minnesota here as well. Minnesota
Damn.
2-1, taking on the 1-2 New Orleans Saints. New Orleans obviously coming off that loss to Carolina, to at that point winless Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's really, you can't sum it up to anything but just a simple bad game against Philadelphia. I saw somebody, I don't know. Look, I might have said this in the last episode and I haven't read too much into it, but people were talking about like Kirk Cousins potentially having an astigmatism.
Oh, really?
And like I said, this could be completely BS. I have not looked into it at all. So, but I'm gonna rely on it being true. Definitely shouldn't, but I'm just gonna say, yeah, Kirk Cousins has an astigmatism, and sometimes the lights of the stadium affect his throwing ability.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Because we
maybe I
ride
am a
with Kirk
doctor,
Cousins.
but
Because we ride with Kirk Cousins here.
but yes, I mean, I'm known Kirk Cousins hater, but I don't hate him when he's overseas. So I'm gonna take Minnesota here.
Fair enough. Fair reason to take them. Next up, going from overseas to I was gonna say in the dog pound, but they're playing away, so never mind. Browns versus Falcons. I don't do transitions like Studer does. I'm gonna stop trying. I'm taking the Falcons here, and I think personally, I don't know. We don't know if Myles Garrett's playing yet. I'm pretty sure he's still questionable because he got into that one car accident. Prayers up for Myles Garrett. Not life-threatening injuries, but still. So apparently he swerved to miss a deer. Was it something like that? Or an animal in the street?
Yeah,
It was something like that. He swerved to miss an animal and got into a one-car accident. Glad that nobody was severely injured in the whole ordeal, but it still sucks. He's one of the best defensive players in football, so it's cool to watch. I'm taking the Falcons. I think I'm a little bit biased because I don't like the Browns. But also the Falcons offense is very, very good. Like let me take back one of those varies. It's very good. I saw a stat. Let me pull it up real quick about Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson is currently RB9 in PPR format fantasy leagues. And he has, I'm pulling it up now. It's loading. My Wi-Fi is bad. He's 9th in total rush attempts this season, but outside of the top 50 in receiving targets. You have a wide receiver playing running back, and he's 9th in rush attempts and outside the top 50 in targets, and he's RB7 in fantasy. His value is just going to go up. If you're in redraft leagues, and if you could get him for the low, go for it. Go for it. His floor is huge. Massive. I'm going with the Falcons, though. Kyle Pitts scoring a touchdown. Maybe. Doubt it, though. He's still
every week. You hope for it every week.
I have to. I drafted him in the 2nd round in our dynasty league. I need to hope for something.
Yeah, I mean, actually, first off, Danny, right as of right now, Patterson's questionable.
Yeah, I know that much.
Myles Garrett actually is only listed as questionable as well. I'd love to see if he could play. Jadeveon Clowney's also questionable. Danny, I'm gonna go Cleveland here.
Nice, so I love it.
We butt heads on just the 3rd game of the week, or second game Sunday, 3rd of week 4. I don't know. I mean,
I remember last season we would always pick the same team.
We did pick a lot. I'm kind of banking on a lot here from Nick Chubb from Cleveland,
which is fair.
Maybe I'm sleeping too much on Jacoby Brissett's arm.
No, you're not.
I do recognize and respect Marcus Mariota, but I think the Falcons. Let's call a spade a spade. The Falcons aren't great, but they're not completely horrible. It feels like a lot of the games that they've played in this season, they've been there.
They feel like a 500 team.
Like they're making it a competitive game.
They feel like a 500 team. They feel like they can go 8-9.
That's a good way to sum it up. Or like no more than like 3 under 500.
Exactly. Like I think like 11 wins is their like absolute ceiling for the season, but I also think like 6-7 losses is their absolute floor. Like they're not going to have a top pick and they're not going to be a Super Bowl contender. They're going to be like right in the middle.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna ride with Cleveland here.
Going from Atlanta to Dallas, we
Whoa,
got.
that is not the order in which I have it in.
You're weird.
No,
I'm just going off ESPN.
I go by off of NFL.com.
Oh well, weirdo. Um,
Ouch.
yeah. How's it feel?
Okay.
Washington at Cowboys.
NFC East matchup here.
Yes, sir. Studer wants both teams to lose.
I really do.
But personally, I want one team to lose more than the other because I hate the Cowboys. I'm gonna go
I
Washington.
also want one team to lose more than the other.
Do you don't want to tie like I predicted last week with Texans Bears?
Absolutely not. Nope.
I hate the Cowboys, and also I think Cooper Rush gets his first career loss as a starter against Washington. I don't believe in Dallas' secondary. I just don't think they're that good, and Washington is a high pass volume team. Not saying that they're very good, and I also don't think Carson Wentz is going to have a great game, but I do think that they're going to pass the ball a ton and try to get Michael Parsons out of the play. So I do think passing volume will be there for receivers like Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. Not Terry McLaurin, because they just don't pass to their best receiver, it seems. But I do think the passing volume will be there, at least enough to keep Washington in the game till the end. And if the Cowboys have to convert like a 2-minute drill at the end of the game, I don't trust them at all. So I'm taking Washington.
Yeah, Danny, this is another game that we're actually gonna butt heads on. I'm gonna go Dallas here. I would be 110% okay with this prediction being wrong. Washington actually here, the spread, Washington +3.
Oh, we haven't been going over the spread.
We haven't, but it's fine. We'll do it for the next ones. I mean, if Dallas is able to get Dalton Schultz back, I believe they are getting Michael Gallup back.
Yes, Michael Gallup is playing this week.
They've got a great 1-2 punch in the run game between Zeke and Tony Pollard.
They got a great 2 punch, not 1. I wouldn't say Zeke is great. I would say Tony Pollard
Zeke is their leading rusher, though. I don't know if that's just because of snaps. I haven't looked that much into it. I mean, Zeke does only have 1 touchdown on the season. I'm gonna go Dallas here. I don't know. I think Cooper Rush kind of still rides his high. I feel like he's got some pretty solid weapons around him, which I feel like is making him as successful of a quarterback as he is right now.
That's fair. I mean, you do got CeeDee Lamb, who's one of the best young receivers in the league. You got Dalton Schultz, who's a very solid quarterback, tight end. And
I'm not trying to, put Cooper Rush on a pedestal here, because if he's on any one of the other 31 NFL teams, he's, second, maybe even third string.
Depending on
I just think that he's got way too many assets around him that it's not like he's being set up for failure. So like I said, I'd be totally okay with this, but I'm going to be going with the Dallas Cowboys.
Fair enough. Cowboys are a better team on paper. They're 2-1. Commanders are 1-2. Cowboys have a better team overall, but I am going to let my bias seek through on this one. Seattle Seahawks at Detroit Lions is next. We're moving a little bit north. Both teams, the Lions are not quite underwhelming this year. Neither are the Seahawks. Both bad teams. Let's just leave it at that. The over-under is 48 this game.
Detroit favored big time, -3.5. Yeah. But in terms of, I'm sorry, that's not big time, but in terms of percentages, they're favored about 63 to 37.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit just because they have showed me a little bit more than the Seahawks have. They have a way better offense. I know Swift is out this week, but they still have Jamal Williams. I love me some Jamal Williams. He's their goal line back anyway. Sorry if you guys hear my dog barking. He's kind of annoying. But I'm going to take Detroit. I mean, their defense hasn't looked horrible. Jeff Okudah's having a breakout right now. I've seen stats where he's been holding star receivers on the other team when targeted by covered by Jeff Okudah. They just haven't been producing. So I'm going to take the Lions, and I'm going to keep riding Jeff Okudah's high because I was a big Jeff Okudah believer before the draft, and then he was horrible.
Yeah, Danny, I mean, this was one of the 2 games in which I had a team put down, but then I had a question mark next to it. The other one was the Cleveland Atlanta game.
Mhm.
I had Seattle written down because I'm, obviously with no DeAndre Swift. I might have to go with Detroit here.
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, sorry to, that we don't have another game of, where we butt heads, but I'm gonna have to go with Detroit Lions here. They've been doing a lot better this season than I expected them to. So I'm gonna give them that credit where credit's due.
Nice. I have a fun thing that I want to do. We can do it once we get to this team, which they're coming up not very soon, but they'll be up. Next game, Titans versus Colts. Two teams that are very similar in general. I mean, one has a better defense. They both only use their running back and wide receiver one. Titans, the difference is they have no wide receiver one right now. They just, who is it? Yo, I don't know. But the Colts are
The
1-1-1.
Titans,
Yeah, who's their receiver one?
Robert Woods.
Nope, he sucks.
Okay.
And he also just doesn't get targeted a lot. I mean, when it comes to let me see if I can find the highest rated Titan receiver.
Well, you find that Indianapolis is favored to win this game 60%, 40%. Also, Indianapolis set with the spread at -3.5. Over under is exactly at 43. This is a tough game just because this is two, so far at this point in the season, this is two mediocre teams. I shouldn't say mediocre. This is two average teams.
Bad teams. Leave it at that. Also, I found their Robert Woods currently receiver 42 in fantasy in PPR formats, and Treylon Burks is currently receiver 46. So they don't have a wide receiver one. They just kind of use whoever. So get wrecked.
All right, excuse me.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny, do you know who you're going with?
I do. I'm gonna go with the Colts just because they have a better defense. Both of these teams play very similarly. The Colts have a better wide receiver one. They have a very similar rated quarterback, and they both have let's be honest, they both have top 3 running backs in the league. So I'm gonna go with the Colts though. I mean, DeForest Buckner is gonna make a difference in this game. They have a better defense. Shaq Leonard's gonna be good.
Shaq Leonard's is also questionable.
Damn. Oh, there goes that.
This is a tough pick. I want to go Tennessee. I really do.
Okay.
Especially because Michael Pittman is very hit or miss for Indianapolis. And I don't know how much confidence I have in Matt Ryan. Granted, I don't know how much confidence I have in Ryan Tannehill. Indianapolis, though, is a team that managed, see, this is so weird. Indianapolis is a team that managed to get shut out by the Jaguars, but then beat the Chargers. I'm not the Chargers, the Chiefs. Excuse me.
Exactly. It's hard. It's rough.
I'm gonna have to change what I have on paper here. I'm sorry, Danny. I'm gonna have to go Indianapolis. I'm counting on Jonathan Taylor having a better game than Derrick Henry, and which, excuse me, I'm also counting on Matt Ryan to have a better game than Ryan Tannehill. And I'm also, I don't know, I don't see a lot from Pittman here in this game. I'm going to go Indianapolis.
Next game, we got Chicago Bears versus the New York Football Giants. I stole your line there. I also just want to let it be known, I'm pretty sure Justin Fields threw the ball 18 times last game. And I'm pretty sure the over-under was 18.5. When we were talking about it, when we were doing take or toss, and we both took under, so we both would have hit. So let's go. Look at us. We do things. I don't think that the Giants offense is good enough to hold up, or I don't think the Bears offense is good enough to hold up with the Giants. Excuse me.
Okay. I was about to say.
The Giants have looked good this season, and the Bears have not. They have 2 wins. One was over the Niners in the absolute craziest rain game that I've seen in a while in week 1. And they definitely shouldn't have won. And they just beat the Houston Texans. And they beat the Houston Texans because Khalil Herbert went for 157 rushing yards. That's not going to happen again. I'm going to go with the football Giants. The over-under is 39.5. That's a really low line. Take the over.
You know, Danny, I would actually probably take the under
No
there.
way. What? I think the Giants are scoring points this game. I don't think it's gonna be close.
Well, because realistically, I can see this being like a 21-10 game.
I mean, that's fair. I do think that the Giants score at least 4 touchdowns in this game, and I do think 2 of them go to Richie James. That's my bold prediction.
I mean, yeah, obviously Richie James is probably going to be targeted a lot more with Sterling Shepard being out.
Prayers up, Sterling Shepard. Sucks.
I just signed Richie James in fantasy, trying to
our league.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I talked you into it.
Trying to turn the tide from being 0-3.
Are you the only 0-3 team in the league?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're going for that first pick. You're going for Bijan. You're going for Bijan Robinson, the rookie draft.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hook 'em horns.
This man's tanking in a fantasy league.
Nah, horns down.
$20 just out of pocket.
And the Giants are missing some people in this game.
Okay.
Some people crucial, some people not so much. No Wandale, no Kadarius Toney, which means a lot more targets for Richie James, David Sills. I'd like to see Daniel Bellinger. Sorry, excuse me. Had it right the first time. I'd like to see Daniel Bellinger get a little bit more.
Me too.
Looks. He plays a lot of snaps, but he doesn't get a lot of targets.
I think he blocks a lot. I that's what I feel like they use him for, because he's not their tight end one at the moment.
Well, Lord knows after seeing that game against Dallas that the Giants are going to need as many blockers as they can get to protect Daniel Jones.
Absolutely.
The big cat, Leonard Williams, he's also out.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
You know, I'm looking for a bounce back game here out of Evan Neal. I'm looking for Kayvon Thibodeau to show us who Kayvon Thibodeau is.
Please. I love Kayvon. I do. I need him to do good. I can't be missing on so many drafts in so long, just because it's just I felt like a draft expert like 2 years ago, and now I was so high on these guys, they're just not good right now.
The Giants held the Dallas Cowboys offense to 6 points in the first half on Monday Night Football.
That's good.
Gave up only 17 in the second, when the Giants are definitely in years past have been a team that can allow 17 points in a quarter. I'm going to go with the Giants here.
Yeah, football Giants.
I look, if that line can fix itself, I get Chicago's got Jaquan Brisker and Danny, who's the other person that I'm thinking of that Chicago's thinking about trading?
Roquan Smith.
Thank you, Roquan Smith.
Steelers, baby. He's Steelers bound. I'm telling you, we're moving Chase Claypool.
But
I don't want to. I mean, love you, Chase. I love you, Chase.
I think the Giants, Adoree Jackson, Darnay Holmes, Tate Crowder, I think they have the potential to have a really good game here.
Big play, Darnay.
But like you said earlier, Danny, Khalil Herbert could have a really good game, especially Montgomery's been ruled out. So Herbert's going to be getting, way more snaps than he was in the weeks prior. They did a really good job being able to stop Zeke and Pollard to a certain extent. I said it in the last episode, they gave up like that 40, 60 yard, I think it was 40 yard rush to Pollard, and then still only held Dallas to just 3 points. I'm gonna go with the Giants here. I mean, the Giants realistically have a chance. I think that they have a chance to be, second or third in this NFC East, close. I don't know. I'm not very high on Washington this season. Sorry, Carson Wentz. Sorry to my boy, Jahan Dotson. I'm really kind of relying on Dallas and New York to be neck and neck for second and third while Philadelphia takes it. But yes, I will be going with the New York Football Giants over the Bears.
Da Bears. And speaking of the number 1 seed in the NFC least,
did you just call them the NFC least?
Yeah,
I love that.
It's not original. I'm never original, not once. The Eagles will take on the Jaguars 1 p.m. in Philly.
The return of Doug Peterson.
The Jaguars are 2-1. And the Eagles are 3-0. The Eagles, I believe, are they the last undefeated team in the league?
Yes, they are, because the only other undefeated team was the Miami Dolphins. Yep.
So the Eagles, the last undefeated team in the league, and I think it stays that way. I'm taking the Eagles, even though Trevor Lawrence has looked good and Christian Kirk has looked absolutely phenomenal. I'm still taking the Eagles. I'm not going to bet against Jalen Hurts. Not at this point in his career. He's on a tear. MVP. That's my MVP right now. I know the last thumbnail was who is currently MVP. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Danny. Philadelphia favorite here by 6.5.
Yeah, that's a line. That's a big line.
I would love to see Jacksonville have a solid game. I'd like to see, Trevor Lawrence do something. I don't see it happening against this Philadelphia defense, though.
Nope. Darius Slay is huge.
Right. I think he's gonna. I think Slay's gonna be able to hold Kirk, and then who else does Jacksonville have? ETN
and J-Rob.
And J-Rob.
I mean, they have Evan Ingram, right? But he can't catch the ball.
No, he can't.
He never has been.
But Philadelphia just has a lot of different weapons. You got a dual threat in Jalen Hurts. You got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith.
Your four-headed monster of a running back core, which is not really a monster. It's just kind of four dimwits that are good at certain things. I shouldn't call them dimwits. That's
calling Miles Sanders a dimwit.
Yeah.
And actually, that four-headed parlay is down to 3 as Boston Scott's out. So.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders is having a good year, which is surprising. Kenneth Gainwell is used, I guess. Also, their running back one is also throwing the football. So,
also, Danny, Zay Jones is questionable. So if he isn't able to play against Philadelphia, then it's really over for Jacksonville.
I also don't think this game's going to be close. I want to go to an Eagles game this year. I don't like the Eagles, but I think the atmosphere would be fun if I go as like an Eagles fan so I don't get jumped.
We'll have to go when they're playing the Giants in the link. I would get jumped.
We would go to one in New York.
You mean New Jersey?
Shut up. We'd go to one in East Rutherford.
Oh, Danny, look at this is all right, Danny. I'll let you have the floor. But this was I won't lie. This is one game I don't have a team written down yet for my.
This is a tough one.
I think I know which one I'm gonna go with.
I mean, we all know which one I'm gonna go with.
You love to talk about how. Oh wait, no, it's not Joe Flacco. It's Zach Wilson. I was gonna say you love to talk about how Joe Flacco knows how to beat the NFC North. What do you go?
AFC North.
I'm sorry, AFC North. Excuse me, the AFC North. There's no Joe Flacco now.
There's no Joe Flacco. We're back to Zach Wilson.
Oh,
going
man.
From one Pennsylvania team to the next, both playing in Pennsylvania, both at 1:00. The Steelers, baby, on local TV. We get the Steelers game. I don't have to find a stream for it. I'm gonna be so happy because they're playing the Jets. Here's the key: the Jets' starting quarterback is back. The Jets have now downgraded at quarterback for the week.
Wow.
And is that an oxymoron? Absolutely. Too fucking bad. Oh, excuse me. My language.
Oh, whoa.
Sorry. Zach Wilson, the MILF hunter, just gets me all riled up. Zach Wilson is not good at throwing a football, and his wide receivers have said it. Garrett Wilson said that Joe Flacco throws a more receiver-friendly ball. You know what that means? Joe Flacco throws a better football. That's it. Throws a more catchable football. This will be the last time I take the Steelers if they lose this game. The Steelers have disappointed me 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. If the Steelers cannot beat the Jets with Zach Wilson starting, with a beat-up defense, I'm not going to take them again until TJ Watt comes back from injury. And I promise you that. I don't care how juicy the matchup is. Not taking them again.
Even if they're playing Texas. Or not Texas, the Texans.
Even if they're playing the Texans. If they lose this game to the Jets, I would take the Texans over the Steelers. I'm going to take the Steelers. And I'm going to leave it at that. If Mitch has a bad first half, I promise you we see Kenny Pickett in the second half. I promise you. Because there is no other game. Let me look at the Steelers. Let me run down the Steelers schedule for you after this week. They play the Jets this week. Yes. After that, they play Buffalo. They play Tampa. They play Miami. They play Philly. And then they have a bye. So the next time that Kenny Pickett could possibly be thrown into a game is against New Orleans in week 10.
Danny, is it bad that looking at that blind, there's some potential to go 0-4.
No, that's not bad because you're playing Buffalo, one of, if not the best team in the league, playing Tampa, which Tom Brady doesn't look like Tom Brady right now, but guess what? He's still Tom Brady.
And who knows? By then they might have Chris Godwin back too.
Exactly. Mike Evans might be 100% because Mike Evans feels like he's never 100% really. Miami on October 23rd. Tua could be back. They're already one of the best teams in the league. Then the Eagles, who are the only undefeated team left and have one of the best defenses and one of the best offenses, and they could run the ball, and the Steelers can't. Apparently, the Steelers are looking at trading for a nose tackle right now to play alongside of Cam Hayward in the middle of the D line, which would be absolutely splendid because of Stephon Tuitt being absent. I think is he still on the books? Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here, but I vaguely remember us cutting. Yes, Stephon Tuitt's no longer on the books, so that's sad. But yeah, no, this would be the last game for a long time that Kenny Pickett could jump into a game. The over-under is 41.5. Crank the under. Pitt is favored by 3.5 points. I'm taking the Steelers. If they disappoint me again, you'll never hear the end of it.
Danny, I'm also going to go with Pittsburgh here.
Yeah.
Honestly, this was a closer thought for me with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, but then I realized that it was Zach Wilson. Yep. And now here's the thing: Zach Wilson could totally pop off, but
the odds
of that are how low. He does in his first start back. It might take some time to kind of get back into it.
Listen, and he's not going to have a hard game. He's not. We don't have TJ Watt and Ahkello Witherspoon. Our corner one is questionable. So we might be without our absolute best defensive player and our best corner.
And I don't think I'm going to be starting him in fantasy this week, but if Mitch Trubisky can actually target Pat Freiermuth, who knows? Maybe
I will be starting him.
Huh?
I will be starting Pat this week.
Daniel, you think I should go with Freiermuth or Hawkinson?
Hawk.
All right.
Hawk against the Seahawks? Hawk.
So yeah, I'm going to be going Pittsburgh here. Danny, what's our next game?
Next game is the game of the week. Game of the week. Imagine there was something there. This is Bills at Ravens.
Well,
two MVP candidates, two of the best teams in the league, one of the best defenses in the league. And trust me, I'm not talking about Baltimore. The Baltimore secondary is toast, and we're in for a shootout. Like the over under for this game is 51. I would take the over.
I would take the over there too.
Both teams are 2-1. Ravens 0-1 at home. Bills 1-1 on the road. Color me surprised. I'm taking Baltimore. We've seen the Bills lose a game. We haven't seen Lamar Jackson stopped. They've lost a game, but did Lamar Jackson still look absolutely good? Yes. Lamar Jackson had 5 touchdowns total last week. I'm taking the Bills. Or no, I'm not taking the Bills. I'm taking the Ravens. And that's because Lamar Jackson is that guy. He is him. Flashback to
these are the last 2 weeks. These have been my he's him. 2 weeks ago it was Josh Allen, and last week it was Lamar.
Yes. Both of these quarterbacks. Both of these quarterbacks are him. Both of these quarterbacks are him. Both of these quarterbacks are in MVP talks right now. But I'm gonna take Baltimore. I think it's a lot harder to stop Lamar Jackson than it is to stop Josh Allen. Looks like you got some thought on your face. Looks like you got some doubt in your mind. Studer in the Penn State cap, per usual.
Danny, I'm going Buffalo.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. That's the fair pick.
I mean, I think now here's the thing. Lamar takes the offense either into his own hands or relies on Mark Andrews.
Yep.
While Josh Allen, we've seen him be a little bit more mobile this season. He's really feeling himself.
He's feeling himself.
But he's got Gabe Davis. He's got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Gabe Davis wasn't the one I would say first, but.
Well, I don't know. He was just the first thought in my mind.
Gabe Davis is still questionable for this week.
He is. He is. That's right. Thank you for reminding me of that.
But they still have
so is
Diggs.
Dawson Knox.
So is Dawson Knox.
Here's what I'm gonna do, Danny. I'm gonna do a little Los Angeles Jacksonville from last week. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Buffalo. Like I said, Stephon Diggs, Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe Davis is questionable. No. Maybe I won't do a Jacksonville Los Angeles Chargers. I think I'm just gonna straight up go with the Buffalo Bills defense here.
Okay.
I think Alex
Miller.
can really take advantage of Baltimore's secondary,
which is fair. But I mean, Baltimore secondary has looked bad
I
this
think
far this season.
I don't know what it is. I feel like the Bills defense might actually be able to stop Lamar on the ground.
I mean, it's going to be tough. They do have good. They have Ed Oliver. They have
Von Miller. Questionable.
Ed Oliver's questionable also.
Mm-hmm.
You got that injury report right in front of you.
Beautiful. I really do.
Great. But they also do have Von Miller. It's gonna be a tough game. I'm still going with the Ravens. It's going to be an absolute shootout, though. Like, I can promise you that.
I'm really excited to watch this game.
Me too. It's at 1:00, so I'm not going to be watching this game. I'm going to be watching the Steelers game.
I'll have to find somewhere to watch it because I actually really do want to watch this game. But of course, the Giants will also be on at 1:00.
I'll send you what I watch my Steelers games on.
All right.
Next game, not much to talk about. Chargers, Texans. Herbert presumably will be more healthy. The Chargers are favored by 5.5. I'm going to take the Chargers. Keenan Allen is out.
Keenan Allen's out. He is indeed.
Keenan Allen is out.
Parham is questionable.
Parham.
Oh, but wait, Danny. No Rashawn Slater. No Joey Bosa.
I forgot about Bosa. I did. And Rashawn Slater's done for the year, I believe. He with
Bosa needs surgery, no?
Does he?
I thought I saw that he did.
Let me check.
I'm also going to be looking right off the rip. He underwent groin surgery yesterday.
Yes, successful groin surgery. Bosa, the earliest he can return is week 9.
Okay. I want to go with LA here. If I don't know. I mean,
it's
the Houston Texans is Brandon Cooks and who else?
And Brandon Cooks already has the same amount of targets as he did at this point last year, but he has caught, I believe it's 30 less balls already than he did last year. His catch percentage is horrible. He's fallen off a cliff. They have OJ Howard, but they barely use him. They got Davis Mills at quarterback. They got Dameon Pierce.
I was saying they got Dameon Pierce running the ball.
And then who do they have on defense? Name one Texan defender.
I probably couldn't if I tried.
I mean, if I really thought about it, I could, but not off the top of my head. Chargers.
Chargers here favored by 5.5, as I believe you said earlier, Danny.
Yeah. Over under is 45. Take the under.
I'm gonna go with LA here. I really hope they don't disappoint me.
Next game is the one that I wanted to talk about. There's a specific player in this game that I know you're gonna have some stuff to say about. This is Cardinals versus Panthers. Both teams are 1-2. I'm gonna get my pick out of the way. I'm taking the Panthers. I think it's gonna be a rough pick. I think it's gonna be a rough looking game overall. But they won their first game last week. The Cardinals have not looked good. The Cardinals are favored by 1 point, so the spread's like nothing. The player that I want to talk about, let's play a little bit of a game. Who would you start? DJ Moore or Curtis Samuel? DJ Moore is projected to be the wide receiver 29 on the week. DJ Moore is definitely not the wide receiver 29 in fantasy right now. I can tell you that much. And I'm sure Studer could too.
As a not so proud owner of DJ Moore. Yeah. Realistically, I would probably start Curtis Samuel.
Good. DJ Moore currently the wide receiver 61 in fantasy. Let's keep moving down. Would you start DJ Moore or would you start Romeo Doubs? Because Allen Lazard is not playing at 100%.
Dobbs had a good game last week against Tampa Bay. Did he not?
He did.
Probably going to go Romeo Doubs there.
Would you start DJ Moore or would you start Treylon Burks? Treylon Burks' snap shares went up every single week. His targets have went up every single week. His production has not gone up, but it's gonna happen soon.
That I would maybe consider starting DJ Moore.
Okay. Would you start DJ Moore or would you start Isaiah McKenzie? Isaiah McKenzie fully healthy this week. Isaiah McKenzie had a solid week last week in fantasy.
He did. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he only have like
7? I believe it was 7 for 70 something and a touchdown.
Isaiah McKenzie then, yeah.
McKenzie. I just want to make sure that I'm not wrong. Yeah, he had 21 fantasy points last week.
Mhm.
Was that last week? Yeah, that was last week. Here's the kicker. Would you start DJ Moore or Richie James?
I would go.
You know one of them's going to be used.
Yeah, I would go Richie James.
Would you start DJ Moore or Mac Hollins? Mac Hollins has been the wide receiver 1 for the Raiders this week or this year. Excuse me.
I would probably do Mac Hollins.
Mac Hollins coming off.
I'm pretty sure Hunter Renfrow is still out.
Yeah, 30-point game last week. Would you start DJ Moore or would you start George Pickens for the Steelers?
I don't know. Deontay Johnson's been getting a lot of the points there for Pittsburgh. I would probably start DJ Moore.
Okay. And last one, DJ Moore or KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne, I believe, just had his best game on the year. Let me see. Yeah, last week, 73 yards and a touchdown, 5 receptions.
I genuinely don't know for that last one.
So my point is, DJ Moore is not targeted nearly enough for the Panthers. I would not start DJ Moore until he gives me a reason to start him. I'm going to take the Panthers. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to have a good game.
You mean the questionable Christian McCaffrey?
The questionable Christian McCaffrey. I think he's going to play.
It took 3 weeks for him to finally hit questionable.
No, it didn't. He was questionable last week too.
Oh, was he?
Yes, he was. I mean, he wasn't like a game time decision, but he was questionable. He hit the injury report. Also with a thigh injury last week. So
Shenault is also questionable as well.
I believe Chenault's out, actually. I think they confirmed it this morning that he's not going to play. Oh, that changes me. I can't. Both those guys questionable. I'm going Cardinals. There's
no way. Okay, I'm sorry. You went into this game. You immediately said Panthers.
I'm sorry,
listeners at home. You shit on DJ Moore for a solid 5 minutes, and then you just switched to Arizona.
Yeah, I talked myself into it. I was playing that game, and I was like, "Wow, all these guys I would start over DJ Moore, and he's like their only offensive weapon that's not questionable this week." Bet against Baker. Ha ha ha! It's only failed once.
Robbie Anderson's not questionable.
I said offensive weapon.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't say Sideshow Bob.
I loved that TikTok that you made. That was the picture that you used in my TikTok.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, Carolina beat New Orleans. Arizona beat Vegas, but they came back down, like 20-3 or 20-0.
Yeah.
Carolina's actually favored here by 1. They have a 55 to 45% chance of winning this game. Danny, I really don't know. I think I might have to go with the Cardinals here. I think Marquise Brown is going to have a better game than any Panthers wide receiver. I think James Conner is going to have a better game than McCaffrey, and I would definitely take Kyler Murray over Baker Mayfield. Actually, maybe I take that back. Maybe I'm just looking too much. Oh yeah, wait.
No, the beta for Call of Duty just ended, so.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I said James Conner having a better game than McCaffrey. Of course, that is if McCaffrey even plays. Then in which case,
that's also if James Conner even plays.
If Conner gets 1 yard, that's very true. But yeah, I'm gonna go Arizona here.
I think I have to start Eno Benjamin in one league because let me just. I want to talk about this real quick. I didn't get Khalil Herbert off waivers. I tried to get him because I'm starting Nyheim Hines. Excuse me. This is a 12-man fantasy league, and I'm starting Nyheim Hines as a running back because my running backs consist of David Montgomery and Elijah Mitchell. Those are my 2 starters. I also have Miles Sanders, who I have to start, and my other 2 running backs are Nyheim Hines and Eno Benjamin. so that's fun. I wanted to get Khalil Herbert. There's literally like I can get Craig Reynolds for the Lions. He'll probably be used today. Not today.
Man, I can't wait to talk about this next game.
Well, then bring us in, baby.
Danny, we head to, I know it's only October and it's not gonna be like how it will be when it's December, but we head to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field as the Green Bay Packers host the New England Patriots. Yeah, I don't know if Mac Jones is playing in this game, and even if he does, Green Bay's favored by 9.5. Give me the Packers.
I'm also taking the Packers. I mean, Mac Jones. If Mac Jones questionable,
The
no,
matchup
I don't even
predictor-
think he's questionable. I think he's not playing. Pretty sure they already said Brian Hoyer is going to start.
The matchup predictor has it at 90-10 in favor of Green Bay.
That's insane.
That really
Next,
next
I think this one we might differ. Broncos at Raiders. I'm gonna take
country.
Let's ride.
Right. I accidentally hit my microphone. I'm sorry.
You're fine. I'm gonna take the Raiders, even though they're 0-3. I just cannot. I cannot bet in the Broncos' favor right now. I can't.
Danny, we're not gonna differ on this one. I'm gonna take
the Raiders.
Las Vegas here too. I realistically don't see this team going 0-4, and they're favored by 2.5. I'm a fan of Derek Carr. Josh Jacobs had a pretty solid week last week. If he can continue to have that, if you can carry that momentum into this week on home field.
Sorry.
What?
I yawned. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't even have my Zoom up. I'm just looking at ESPN right now on my laptop.
Fair enough. I was saying sorry to the viewers.
I'm gonna go with Vegas here.
Yeah, there's nowhere else to go with it. Next up, Super Bowl rematch from a couple years ago. Chiefs at Bucks. Godwin questionable. The Bucks are beat up right now. They haven't looked good this year. They're 2-1, but they haven't really looked good. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. This is Sunday Night Football. Why'd you give me that look?
No, I'm looking at something really quickly. Matchup predictor is favored Tampa Bay 62. I'm sorry, excuse me, 63 to Kansas City's 37.
Ooh.
Danny,
wow,
I don't know
big.
if I'm not big into like looking at like spreads and money lines. The spread
the line is even. Yeah, I just saw that the line is even. That's
over
crazy.
under set at 45.5. I mean, let's take a look at this injury report really quickly. Kansas City, Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
MVS.
Hear me out here. Is it
Scantling?
Scantling? There is an L. Okay. Is questionable. Tampa Bay, Julio Jones is questionable. Akeem Hicks is out. Rashad Perryman is doubtful.
Is Godwin still out?
I can pull that up. In the meantime, right off the rip, I want to go Kansas City here.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that the Chiefs are as riddled with injuries as the Bucks are. I'm checking Chris Godwin's status right now. He is questionable.
It is questionable. A likely game time decision is listed as questionable.
Yeah.
And this was as of yesterday. So
correct. Yeah, nothing much more to say. Line is even. That's the craziest part. And now let's get into Monday Night Football. Playoff rematch. I believe this was the was this the conference championship? The NFC chip?
This was
I believe it was the NFC chip.
Yeah, because the Niners beat the Packers.
Yes.
The Rams beat the Cardinals. And this was correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, was this not also the NFC Championship matchup game when
the Niners went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, and the Niners lost.
I believe it was.
So,
they got some history. Yeah.
That's fun.
Off rip, I'm gonna take the Rams. I just think the Rams match up with the Niners very well, and the Niners starting Jimmy G, and that's just not really gonna help them out. I do think Brandon Ayuk will have a good game. The line actually favors San Francisco by 1.5. The over under is 42. So they're not projecting a low scoring game, but they're not really projecting a high one either. I'm going to take the Rams, though. I like the way that they match up. I mean, Cooper Kupp just cooks everybody. Tyler Higbee's having a good season. A-Rob's just not used. But yeah, no, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, Danny, I'm gonna go with the Rams here too. This when I was originally making this little doc that we always write it down on. This is the second of the two games that I left blank,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna have to go with the Rams here.
Yeah, I mean, nothing much more to say. That's really just I just feel like they match up well. That'll do it for the pick'ems. We're just gonna get into some kind of other stuff. Nothing crazy football talk. I mean, we'll talk about fantasy. You want to talk about our fantasy league real quick? About how we
Uh,
match up this week?
or you know what? Let's do. Do you have your take or toss? I would rather do that one first.
I don't really have. Let me pull up the lines real quick. Pulling up. Yeah, the lines aren't gonna be crazy because I didn't really prepare them. That's my bad.
Wow.
Bad
podcaster.
Bad podcaster. Yes.
Shame on you, Danny.
We're gonna start with the London game actually because the London game is fun to talk about. Kirk Cousins over under 17.45 fantasy points.
What was the number?
17 point. We'll just call it 17 and a half fantasy points. I'm gonna take the over actually. I think he's gonna have a good game. He's playing New Orleans defense, which isn't great.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take the over on that as well.
Alexander Madison over under 23 and a half rushing yards. I would slam the over because the odds that Dalvin Cook plays limited snaps in this game are high.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the take.
The take we're taking. Justin Jefferson over under 15 fantasy points. I'm taking that because I called the bounce back game.
I'll take that as well. Yeah. He's
others-
going to be a big reason why Kirk Cousins gets over 17 and a half.
Yeah. On the other side of the ball, Chris Olave, are we taking over or are we taking 60 and a half receiving yards?
Chris Olave.
I'm taking Chris Olave stepped up as the receiver 1 for New Orleans over the last week. I'm gonna take that. I'm taking that line. Are you thinking?
I'll take it. Yep. Only one game in which he didn't break 60, and it was that week 1 game against Atlanta.
Yeah. Yes, actually, Brian Hoyer is the confirmed starter for the game. And looking at the lines right now, they don't have any lines for Mac Jones, but they do have lines for Hoyer. Next game, we'll do the Giants game. Justin Fields over under 23 and a half passing attempts.
Slamming and tossing it.
Tossing it as far as I absolutely can. Khalil Herbert, 76 and a half rushing yards. I'm going to take.
I'll take the over there.
I'm taking. Darnell Mooney, 7.85 fantasy points. Toss. He's not going to get open.
Yeah, I'll toss that.
The thought going through your face. Saquon Barkley, 113 and a half scrimmage yards. I'm gonna take that. So that's just total yards. He's gonna have 100 total yards, 113 and a half total yards.
Yeah, with no Shep, no KT. I'll take that. Really quickly, I'd love for this to finally be the game. Then with no Shep, I'd love to see Kenny Golladay step up.
Kenny Galladay's gonna get traded. I don't know what team's gonna take on his cap hit, but he's gonna get moved for like a low pick.
The Giants need to completely redo their wide receiver room. I'm pretty sure I said this in the it was like a joke going into week 1 that Richie James was going to be wide receiver 1, but now
you did say that
because Richie James wide receiver 1, you're not going to be successful with that. No hate to Richie James. He's successful because he gets a lot of target because there's nobody else.
I mean, they have KT. They just have to use him. He's a great player.
I'm really excited. It's a very injury prone wide receiver room. Tony, Shepard, Wandale.
AG. I mean, Wandale, this is his first real injury. I think he'll come back. I like Wandale. Richie James, 10 fantasy points. Take or toss?
Taken.
I'm taking 2. He's the only guy that gets targets.
I think he's going to get a touchdown.
Ooh. 2, I think I said. Well, let's move over to Pittsburgh. Michael Carter, over under 10 fantasy points. I'm gonna take it. Steelers can't stop the run, so
yeah, I'll take that.
Everything for Zach Wilson, I'm gonna toss. 15 fantasy points, toss. 210 passing yards, toss.
210.
Yep, toss.
That's what they have it on his first game back.
That's low. 200 yards? That's not high. But it's high for Zach Wilson, and I'm going to toss.
Do I take that?
33 and a half passing attempts. I'm taking that. I think the Jets play from behind here and they pass the ball more.
I'm going to take that too. I'm going to predict Zach Wilson finishes with exactly 42 passing attempts.
Okay, I'm going to predict 47. First game back, it's going to be a lot. Let's move over to the other side of the ball. Najee Harris, 90 scrimmage yards. I'm taking. He's going to be used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay Johnson, 13 fantasy points. I'm taking.
I'll take that.
Pat Fryermuth, 35 and a half receiving yards.
If Trubisky wants to target him,
I'm taking.
yeah,
He just has a good matchup. All right. George Pickens, 33 receiving yards. I'm going to toss just because he doesn't get targeted, and it makes me sad.
Yeah, I'll toss that.
All right. All right.
All right.
I think that's all the games that we should talk about. I mean, it's our favorite teams. I think that's the fun way to do it.
Yeah.
You want to get into some fantasy talk? Like some stuff that's going on?
Let's talk some fantasy. Yeah, let's do it.
So, first of all, I'm just going to get this out of the way. I know I tweeted this, and the tweet got a good amount of votes. I made a trade last week, and I don't think I talked about it on the podcast. This is not in our league. This is another league that I'm in.
I was about to say, whoa, what? Oh, wait, this is I think I know which trade you're actually talking about.
You definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm going to find the exact trade. I can't go that far back. Okay. I traded, let me see if I remember this off right. Najee Harris, Michael Pittman, Dawson Knox, Gerald Everett, and Miles Sanders. For the people at home, I'll say it again. Najee Harris, Michael Pittman, Dawson Knox, and Gerald Everett, and Miles Sanders. In return, I got back Devontae Adams. I got back Deontay Johnson, A.J. Dillon, Pat Fryermuth, and Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon was really just a throw-in. I believe I've already dropped him. No, I have not.
That's a good trade. I think you won that one, honestly.
I think it's very even because I think the floor of Najee is way higher than the floor of A.J. Dillon because Najee will be used. I just put Hunter Renfrow on my IR, and I'm gonna pick up. Who do I pick up? Studer, give me a name. Throw out a name. Do I pick up Josh Palmer?
Well, what position are you looking for?
Anything. I mean, I really running back, but it's hard to hit on a running back. When you're looking for running backs in fantasy off the waiver wire, you're really betting on an injury. And a guy that I think is not necessarily injury prone, but high usage back who has suffered some injuries in the past is Derrick Henry. So I'm going to take Dontrell Hilliard. I don't know why he was on waivers. But yeah, that's just a big trade that I made. I feel like it was pretty even. But let's go over to our league, our dynasty league, and talk about our matchups for the week.
Yeah, Danny, thanks to a great performance from T. Higgins, got 9 points more than what he was projected.
Nice.
I am now projected to win by 2 points.
Okay, we'll take a 2-point win. My game's also projected to be close. I'm projected to win by 4. 52 to 48% chance. I'm playing against Darren. Who do you play against?
I don't know who Nutsky is.
Nutsky, that is Chris or Andrew. I think that's Andrew. I believe that's Andrew. Yeah, because Chris's name is Chris Bow. That's
Danny, I got Josh Allen starting, Jonathan Taylor and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as my running backs. T. Higgins was one of my wide receivers. The other one that I have right now in there is DJ Moore. I got Hawkinson, Richie James, and Brandon Cooks in the flex spot. Tyler Bass is my kicker, and I got the Niners defense. Danny, do I switch out?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. First off, Allen Lazard not playing?
I think he's playing. It's confirmed he's playing. Honestly, dude, if I were you, I would move DJ Moore out, put Richie James into your receiver position, and probably start either Hawk or Jacobs. one of the two over DJ Moore. Just I would bench him.
Okay, so Richie James is now in the actual wide receiver slot, and then what was that second half?
Either start Muth or Josh Jacobs. I mean, I know 2 tight ends is rough to start in fantasy, but I did it last year and it kind of worked out for me for a little bit. My starters this week, I got Mariota, Javonte Williams, and Nick Chubb, DK, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. At the moment, it's Ramondre Stevenson and AJ Dillon. Thinking about moving Ramondre out for Cordero if he plays. And then my kicker, defense, Boswell and Steelers. It's rough looking at my bench because I got Amon-Ra out. But my taxi squad's looking decent. Bellinger, Jalen Warren, looking nice. This guy's starting Devontae Adams and Debo. So that's rough. And Mahomes. But he's currently starting Michael Thomas, who's out. So
I went with Josh Jacobs just because I'm kind of banking on him having a
week.
Back-to-back good weeks.
All right. I know that
I'm worried about Trubisky not targeting Muth.
that's fair. I know there is some outside of football stuff. If we want to move over to the diamond, if that I'm sure you would like to talk about with your New York Yankees.
Yeah, Aaron Judge hit 61.
Yeah.
He tied Roger Maris for the American League record.
Sucks that we weren't recording because it literally happened like 5 minutes after we stopped.
That day that we were recording.
It was literally like 5 minutes after we stopped.
It was really. It wasn't that long after we stopped filming. Clinched the American League East the day before. Oh my God, there's no way, Danny. Breaking.
Oh no.
Zach Britton out for season. Yankees place reliever on 60-day IL after leaving game with shoulder fatigue last night. Danny, I actually know that you don't follow the Yankees as much as I do.
I know who that is though. I know that he's been good.
Let me pull up really quickly just so that I can get his stats. Zach Britton last season had he had to undergo. Okay, it was weird. It was like Tommy John, but they did something like different with it. I forget exactly what it is. But they did something like different and like new with the operation. So he was actually able to come back quicker than most people do whenever they have to get Tommy John.
Yeah.
Zach Britton, when he pitched in 3 games, he only pitched 2/3 of an inning.
Okay. And 3 games?
Yeah, and in 3 games, 2/3 of an inning, and that was his 2022 season. He just came back.
Yeah.
He left last night after throwing a wild pitch that allowed the go ahead and what would be the winning run. I find it funny. So I guess that means that Chapman really now is going to be, definitely going to be getting a spot on this postseason roster. But yeah, I mean, we're at the tail end of the season here. We got this final home stretch against Baltimore and then the 4-game set against Texas. And then that's it. Then they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days off. And then October 11th will be the first game of the American League Divisional Series. I'm very excited. I miss Matt Carpenter. I want Matt Carpenter to come back. Andrew Benintendi is going to be coming back.
Benintendi.
I'm going to be very excited to see Harrison Bader in the postseason. I'm going to be very excited to see Oswaldo Cabrera. He just hit a home run last night. I'm excited to see him in the postseason.
I'm excited. I'm excited for baseball playoffs. Baseball playoffs are going to be fun. Who are the Mets? Do we know who the Mets are currently matched up with?
We don't, because the NL East is really close. Actually, the Mets last night just lost to the Braves. So now
I think that does that mean they're tied now?
Mm-hmm. So I'll just put it like this. Let me look at the NL wild card, because the NL wild card is a little bit more not as set as the American League is. Oh, last night, Seattle clinched the playoffs for the first time in 21 years. They finally clinched the playoffs. They haven't been to the playoffs since 2001 when they had that record breaking 116 win season. By the way, you know who they lost to? The New York Yankees. You know what the Yankees did? Losing the World Series to Curt Schilling, Randy Johnson, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Anyways, right now it's looking like, okay, yeah. So basically, it's between the division and the top wild card spot. So whoever wins the division gets the bye through the wild card, and they play the winner of Philadelphia and St. Louis. If that stays the same, that's what it's looking for right now.
Okay.
But if the Mets don't win the division, Atlanta gets the bye, and the Mets will play at this point. It's looking like San Diego. Milwaukee is only half a game back though, so it could be between St. Louis and Milwaukee instead. San Diego looks like if they can just keep up their momentum, looks like they'll be fine. But yeah, we're almost at postseason baseball. And Danny, I love postseason baseball. I love it.
I want to go to a Mets playoff game. I know
No.
the tickets are going to be expensive, but I
Yeah.
want to go.
No,
Okay, I won't.
let's go to a Yankee game.
Oh,
You want to see a real team win?
That's why we'd go to a Mets game.
No.
All right. Let's call it there. Unless you got something else you want to say.
No, that's it.
All right, Mets are better than the
Hockey season's coming up
Yankees.
soon, too,
Nice
so
for
I'm
you guys
excited.
to- What's coming up?
Hockey season.
Hockey season. That's
Mhm.
gonna be a you topic if you want to talk about it.
My
I only
boy,
watch playoff
Jimmy
hockey.
Panarin finally played in his first preseason games last night against the Devils. He scored.
Basketball season's coming up. We had some preseason basketball the other night in China. Steph Curry go off.
Danny, I did not even know that happened.
Mhm. I'm excited, bro. Basketball season's gonna come around. I know we're gonna talk a little bit about everything. I'm sure we'll have some people on the pod. Like I'm sure for hockey, if you want somebody to hop on, talk about hockey with you, that's you. That's the only sport that I'm not touching.
I'll get Jimmy back on.
We get Jimmy on. Yeah, love that man. But for basketball, I'm sure we'll have a third on. That's I know you're into basketball, but we it's not like football where we both are super into it. Just like baseball, if we wanted to talk more baseball, we would need a third. So
All right.
yeah, we're all right. So that's gonna be it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still here, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on audio platform, please rate us 5 stars. Hit us up on socials. Just say, hey, watched the episode, liked it. Hey, watched the episode, didn't like this part. Why don't you switch that up? Well, hey, any kind of critique is nice. Any kind of review is nice. We appreciate everything. We really appreciate the support on all of our episodes. This one, I believe, should be coming out tonight. If YouTube gives me some issues, which they have done in the past, it'll come out tomorrow before football at the latest. So if you are still here, enjoy football, enjoy some good games. Tell me why you think the Steelers are going to win, and tell me why you think that Studer's pick'ems were horrible.
Wow, dude, coming for my neck.
I have to. You're better than me at the transition, so I gotta be on my game when it comes to these outros. So we will be back next week. We will be recapping some games, maybe doing some new stuff, and then we'll tell you how our pick'ems went. Make sure that you're following us everywhere. Social links are down below because we will be giving away a jersey when it comes playoff time. Right now it's looking like I will be doing that, so that'll be fun. But thank you guys so much. That's all. We're out. We'll be back next week.
We are
College football guy. Come on. See y'all next week.